Okay, I'm launching the 2NC. Striking Syria will undermine U.S. counterterrorism plans. A. The Obama administration is struggling to counter terrorism in the Middle East. Walter Russell Mead, who is James Clark Chase Professor of Foreign Affairs and Humanities at Bard College and editor-at-large of the American Interest magazine, published August 2nd, 2013 in the American Interest, accessed October 5th, 2013. The Obama administration has made a fundamental strategic choice that hasn't worked out well. Officials decided to support the Muslim Brotherhood in the hope of detoxifying U.S. relations in the Middle East and promoting moderation among Islamists across the world. Between Prime Minister Erdogan's surging authoritarianism in Turkey and the unmitigated Morsi disaster in Egypt, that policy is pretty much a smoking ruin these days, and a shell-shocked administration is stumbling back to the drawing board with, it appears, few ideas what to try next. Subpoint 2. U.S. policy has cast a negative influence over Egypt. Walter Russell Mead is James Clark Chase Professor of Foreign Affairs and Humanities at Bard College and editor-at-large of the American Interest magazine, published August 2nd, 2013 in the American Interest, accessed October 5th. It's hard to blame anyone in Egypt right now for thinking that the Americans are worthless friends whose assurances are hollow and who will abandon you the minute you get into trouble. At every point along the way, the administration made the choices it did out of good motives, but it would be difficult to design a line policy more calculated to undermine American prestige and influence than the one we chose. Subpoint B. U.S. strike would inspire terrorist activities. Barack Barfi, research fellow with the New American Foundation, published on the Daily Beast webpage on August 28, 2013, accessed October 7, 2013. Some Middle East analysts, meanwhile, said a U.S. strike would likely inspire the cadre of military and intelligence officials running Syria to commission their own terrorist activities with the goal of disrupting the existing U.S. military presence in the region and deepening instability surrounding Israel. 2. U.S. unilateral strike could undermine conflict resolution. Vladimir Putin, published in the New York Times opinion pages on September 11, 2013, accessed October 4, 2013. The potential strike by the United States against Syria, despite strong opposition from many countries and major political and religious leaders, including the Pope, will result in more innocent victims and escalation, potentially spreading the conflict far beyond Syria's borders. A strike would increase violence and unleash a new wave of terrorism. It could undermine multilateral efforts to resolve the Iranian nuclear problem and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and further destabilize the Middle East and North Africa. It could throw the entire system of international law and order out of balance. C. U.S. issues worldwide warning to its citizens. U.S. Department of State, published on travel.state.gov on September 25, 2013. Accessed October 5, 2013. The Department of State remains concerned about the continued threat of terrorist attacks, demonstrations, and other violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests overseas. Current information suggests that Al-Qaeda, its affiliated organizations, and other terrorist groups continue to plan terrorist attacks against U.S. interests in multiple regions, including Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. These attacks may employ a wide variety of tactics, including suicide operations, assassinations, kidnappings, hijackings, and bombings. U.S. embassies temporarily closed due to terrorist threat. Walter Russell Mead, James Clark Chase Professor of Foreign Affairs and Humanities at Bard College and editor-at-large of the American Interest, published August 2nd in the American Interest, accessed October 5th. The recent jailbreaks in Iraq, Libya, and Pakistan, along with Thursday's announcements that the U.S. would be temporarily closing its embassies across the Middle East due to an unspecified terrorist threat, suggest Al-Qaeda and other fanatical terrorist organizations are on a roll. Meanwhile, the U.S. is farther than ever from the kind of partnership with relatively liberal and democratic Muslim parties and movements that the Obama administration sees as the best way to tame terror and build a better future. Attacking Syria will destroy any chance at bettering relationships in the Middle East, and instead unleash terrorist organizations to attack Western allies and targets. Striking Assad will unleash Hezbollah against Western targets. Aaron McClam, staff writer for NBC, published August 27th, 2013, accessed October 12, 2013. Assad, 2 years into a civil war with the rebels, depends heavily on Iran and the Iranian-backed terrorist group Hezbollah. The Syrian-Iran alliance presents a big problem for the United States. Too heavy a strike against Assad could embolden Iran to come to the rescue and take action against U.S. forces in the Persian Gulf, or unleash Hezbollah against Western targets. The affirmative plan would push us into world war as the U.S. tries to counter terrorism in the Middle East. I now stand ready for cross-examination.
Has the U.S. and the Middle East have peaceful at the moment?
I do not believe so.
Is it solely based on Syria, or has there been previous?
There's been previous conflicts in the Middle East.
That is all.